Alright folks, welcome to today's video. We are doing a sort of roundup slash rough chat, I guess, about ranked play. There's a developer stream from July the 23rd. This was with Dana and the quote new Node Zero, as people call him, Jonathan Taylor. He basically is going to be discussing ranked, the preseason, I feel like how it's going. Now, I'm not going to give you an enormous sort of video on this, on what I think ranked is like. I'm going to let him do the talking. The reason for that is I have a separate video where, if you don't know, I've been streaming on Twitch, and the idea has been to play solo queue to get a rough idea of effectively how how the game works on a fundamental level for solo queue. You know, it's pretty damn difficult at times to play solo. I'm on PC, so the only opportunity I have to play is against a PC person or somebody that has turned it or sort of kept crossplay on. Typically, those that keep crossplay on probably think they're a little bit better of a player and can handle themselves. The games are very tough. At the moment, I'm on X2, and honestly, I haven't seen any single solo player above Onyx. The highest elo I've personally played in was a game with Caitlin Snow. We had one diamond on our team. They were a diamond stack. I was an Onyx 2 solo player, and it's tremendously difficult to win playing solo. But I want to be sort of, you know, I don't know how to word it. Not someone to look up to in the scene, because that's daft. Somebody that, you know, you can go, oh, this guy's solo queues and he's got to this rank, or he's still having fun. I'll play solo queue as well, because I think the game, if it had solo queue, would be brilliant. Now, we know why it doesn't have solo queue, because of its population, but I'm not going to do a big long rant or a big long discussion about that stuff, because that's for a separate video, and I want you to know that. Yeah, there has been roughly a week with sort of videos with quote no talking from me on, but again, the reason this channel exists was because I wanted to do some things differently. So when I saw, you know, quote that there was a sort of, how do I word it, people weren't doing what I was doing, and I wanted to do it, so I went out and did it. People enjoy the discussion. I have a load of people come in Twitch chat and say, yo, I really enjoy your discussion. Thank you, keep up the content, and that motivates me. Yesterday I had a great day on Twitch. Hair is getting crazy long. I had a great day on Twitch, and I thought to myself, I need to go and I need to do a video speaking, because it's what people enjoy, it's what people come for, so I'm going to do this dev blog. What I've been trying to post on my channel is sort of my journey and my experiences through the ranking system. Now, you're going to get a much better idea of what that's like if you watch the live stream, and if you want to come over to the live stream, I'd very much appreciate it. We're at 2,000 followers now. We're averaging about 15 viewers. It used to average about 1, so that's like our 15 times increase. It's going really well. I'd love more people to tune in and hang out and have fun, and share the experience of Gears with other people. And yeah, the videos that I've been producing over the past week haven't done as well, but getting back to my original point was, I didn't just want to come out and go, right, solo queue's broken, ranking system's broken, you know, make a video on day one, because I don't think that's fair. If they've spent their time creating a ranking system since January, I want to give it the time of day. So yeah, I am going to play solo queue properly. It's been a week of solo queue. I'm roughly now beginning to sort of grasp how the system works, how I feel it will play. I didn't want to get into bronze, play a solo game, then be like, right, let's discuss you know, how the game works, solo queue, team stacking, all this stuff, because, well, I don't know, do I? So I've put the time in, and that's what I'm trying to say. My channel, it might not churn out the most viral videos. It might not churn out, you know, the videos that make tons of money, or it might not even turn out the videos that basically Gears of War people want to watch, you know. But I have my little niche, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, I don't just want to come out and talk about the ranking system without actually playing it. So what I want from the channel, and what I have continued to do for the past, I guess almost year is, and pretty much since I've been on YouTube really, is I just want my channel to be honest, and I want to do things properly. So no stupid clickbait, you know. I want to experience the right game and play it properly, you know. If I'm playing against diamond players who can then play against masters players and I'm a solo player, I feel like I've tested the system enough, you know. I don't want to be like one of those reviewers, like, you know, that plays like 10 minutes of a campaign and then rates the whole game, you know. I want it to be an honest channel, so when you tune into a video, it's realistic and it's honest and it's fair. So we're going to get into the dev blog. I don't know how much we're going to watch, because again, this is me not trying to waste your time. I don't want to make a 2-hour dev blog if he's really talking about stuff we already know. So I'll watch the first hour and we'll see how it pans out and we'll chat about it, and we'll do some reaction. But yeah, if you want to tune in and support the content, there are tons of ways to do it, and I'd really appreciate it if you could. I'll be honest, for the past 3 months, you can see this new overlay. We haven't had the content goal on screen. You can see it down below, and I haven't reached the content goal for, I think, 3 months now. So if you do enjoy the content and you are able to support, it would be wonderful if we could reach the content goal for this month. Again, we've done a ton of work, done a ton of streams, tried to be the best creator I can be personally, and yeah, so here we go. We'll get into it now. I won't waste any more of your time. You can tune into the stream at twitch.tv/GGZII. You can hit the follow button up here. If you want to support, there's a subscription option. It basically gets some emotes. It gets you access to my VODs. So if you've missed the stream and you want to watch the streams, those are some subscriber perks. But don't worry, if you're not a subscriber, there are highlights. I do occasionally make highlights so people can get an idea of the content they're going to be subbing to. So that's fair, I feel like. So yeah, if you want to read a bit about the Twitch page, there's a lot about me there. Stuff like that, how to support Spotify, blah, blah, blah. There's the YouTube channel, which has got tons and tons of content on it, trying to bring out as much content as I can, and hopefully you've enjoyed that. I've made a few videos unlisted because they're just basically live streams and I don't really want them on my page, so that I'll probably get rid of this one soon as well. Recently just showcased all the Xbox games. If you want a sort of funny watch along my thoughts and experiences with the new Xbox game, there you go. From what have we got in here? Halo Infinite, Forza, State of Decay, Grounded, Psychonauts, Destiny. If you want to see my reaction, they're all in there. And then we're going into Gears 5, and we're going into the dev stream. So let's have a look. I'm gonna put the old knowledge hat on now. I'll put the old knowledge hat on, and we'll listen to them discuss the ranking system.
We redid our rank system for Op 4.
We did.
And we talked about, you were on, about a week and a half ago talking about what it was going to be.
Yep.
People have had some hands-on with it, and then we've seen some questions percolating around the interwebs. And I was like, you know what, Mr. Jonathan, you should come on the stream and talk to some of those questions. Now, I'm going to throw a couple of caveats out beforehand.
Okay. For me or for the audience?
For the audience, not for you.
All right.
There are some things that we're looking at, so we're going to speak at a high level on certain things. Largely because decisions aren't final just yet. We're kind of looking at decision A versus decision B, and that path may not be 100% cemented, even if we're leaning towards one direction. So we don't want to go and say we're doing X when in actuality we may end up doing Y. So we don't want to go anything down that path just yet. And then the other thing that I want to talk a little bit about before you start, and before we start answering questions, is today's Xbox event a certified extravaganza of all things Xbox. However, we were not participating in it because we did our big news last week.
I'm going to be honest, like, you can watch again if you want to know about that extravaganza Xbox event. It's on my channel. I've covered it. Let me just give you one word. Disappointing. And let me give you another quick phrase. Gears 5, honestly, You might not like the theme of it, you might not like the style maybe, but man, it is visually one of the best looking games. Even when they were showcasing the new console games, Gears is still a great looking game.
Initially, we were going to be as part of it for Op4, but it was chock full of stuff, and we wanted to get it into you guys' hands around as soon as possible. So that's why we're not in it. And any other questions about any content inside of Xbox, I'm happy to nerd out with you guys over Fable, which is, I know this is sacrilegious, but I'm actually most excited about Fable than I am about Halo. I'm like the 0.2% people. Like,
it's been a while since we had a Fable, right? So.
Yeah, I love Fable. I actually did communications on the original Fable way, way back in the day, 100 years ago. But
nice.
That is neither why we are here today to discuss my love of Fable.
Could be. Let's see how long this lasts.
So I just wanted to address that with you guys because I know there's going to be a bunch of questions around what or what wasn't talked about today. Oh, someone asked about my shirt. This is a Mark II Lancer shirt from the fine folks at Insert Coin. Not sure if it's still available,
nice.
But I brought this. This is a blast from the past.
Yeah, I'm watching the stream on my side monitor, so you see the side of my face as I look at your cool shirt.
Ah, there you go. Okay, so all of that is out of the way. So we posted a bunch of stuff today. So can you maybe, and I know we talked about it on our What's Up blog, can you maybe give a quick overview of why are we doing a preseason? Why didn't we just roll right into the...
All right, I'm going to be honest, a lot of these questions are probably going to be questions we've heard, seen, and answered. We're obviously going to have a preseason because we need to test the damn new ranking system, and we need to figure out values, need to test the system works, get the player base on it, get it working, yada, yada, yada. We're going to skip it on a little bit because this seems to be a very kind of long intro, and I'm not here to waste your time. Also, just whilst I thought I'd get this information out at the beginning, apparently, well, not apparently, almost certainly the way I've watched this stream towards the end, because I have seen the end of the stream, they're thinking of raising the radius of the flashbangs. And I feel like now a flashbang is a pretty good thing. It's useful sometimes when they have a hell of a setup. It can be useful, but you need to be accurate with it. And I feel like that's the right way. Like, if you land a good flashbang now and kill somebody, I've done it and I thought to myself, it felt pretty good. Whereas previously, when the radius was larger, you were just throwing it into an area, watching it connect, and then pushing. I don't think there's any reason to buff the flashbang radius or change them. I think they're fine the way they are. And there was such an uproar from the community when flashbangs were in the game that they should be careful about changing them again.
To a regular season.
Sure, I can go through that. We talked about, I think, that a little on last Tuesday when I was on the stream. Sorry, the days are starting to blur together. It's been great, but just really crazy and busy. Basically, we ran internal simulations based on...
Yeah, so we've already spoke about this on Tuesday. They're doing internal simulations based on what they think the ranking system would work like with a player base. As always, you're not going to know how it works until you actually play the ranking system on you. We're going to jump this on. We're going to jump it on.
There's a lot of feedback, and there's certain items that probably bubble up near the same level as this top 3 that we're looking at as well. And as we start to
we'll skip this back.
But 3 of the top ones is we're looking at are things like
do you want to go through the
matchmaking, the scoring valuations, and then the last one that we talked about was some of the free-for-all changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'll go. We just talked about the cost point stuff, which we got a lot of feedback about. There's more than those 3 as well. I think anybody that's been reading the forums or has looked around knows there's a lot of feedback, and there's certain items that probably bubble up near the same level as this top 3 that we're looking at.
So for me, I guess my personal top 3 issues are I can't play ranked free-for-all because there's a quick play free-for-all option. I feel like free-for-all should just be ranked. There's barely any players anyway. I just can't play that game mode. These are in no particular order. Number 2, there's an irritation that as a solo queue player, I'm trying my absolute hardest to basically fight 5-man PC stacks that are all communicating in Discord. It's incredibly difficult. And I don't seemingly have there's no seeming reason to solo queue, because the win is all that matters. I've had games where I've had 105 kills. It's on my YouTube channel, and the guy below me in second place has had 40, and not on my level in any way. I've hard carried the team, and I've got 1 more gears point than him, which means if I was to lose that match, I would lose 1 less gears point than him. So I don't think individual performance is factored in enough, or just there needs to be a reward for being brave enough to play solo queue. And I guess finally, my last point would be, as a solo player or as a person that likes laddering systems, I've put my time into leveling up and trying to get as high as I can get. And when I get into Onyx, the expectation of me as a player is, right, your games are going to be a lot more difficult, a lot more sweaty, and I'm okay with that. Your teammates are now going to be effectively, if you're Onyx, they're going to be diamond or gold. So the lowest level teammate you're going to have is going to be a gold player, and that's okay. Occasionally you might get a mismatch, you might get a stack of golds, they might get all diamonds. That's rarely going to happen, but I understand small population, tough matchmaking requirements. I understand it, but I don't like the fact a Masters player, Diamond player, Onyx, whoever, can queue with a Bronze player and bring them into my game. I've had, and this isn't a one-off, this is 10, 15 times, where I've played a ranked match against a 5-man stacked PC team, and some gold player or some Onyx player has brought in a bronze player, a bronze friend. So if you think about it, if I'm Onyx, I can match with gold people, and a gold person who is basically could have just got into gold, so just pretty much silver, plays with their bronze friend. I'm now playing an entire stack of diamonds, or I'm playing Onyx solos or whoever, and I've got 2 to 3 slots on my team filled with bronze players. And this isn't a bronze player with a sort of hidden high MMR, and that's why they're allowed into the game. These are what I would call, your Game Pass Gary that stares at the sky and shoots the walls and stuff. And it's absolutely infuriating to have spent my time climbing to a certain elo just to have a bronze player in my team. It seems like the system is exactly the opposite of what they intended. There is also the issue that not only are they bronze, they also can not have played the game, because do you remember they added a restriction where you needed to be ranked like 50 or 30 to play ranked, which is very, very quick to get anyway, too quick in my opinion. But if you play with a higher level friend, those requirements go away. So you can actually make a brand new account. So there's 2 things that can now happen. You can be a brand new account and play with a Masters player, or you can smurf as well and play with somebody else. So it's just been a frustrating experience. It's been a bit of a frustrating experience.
That as well, and as we start to have more to talk about there, I'd like to go into more detail, but we can focus on those 3 today. So we just talked about the Koth changes to points. Matchmaking times, we were making a change that we're working on pushing out today. I need to follow up with the live team to see what time we'll be able to get it out. It may be as late as early tomorrow. But we're expanding the range at which people can matchmake for the early part of the season to allow spread to happen a bit more. What we're seeing, especially in playlists that maybe don't have quite the same population as Koth, is people that rank up are having trouble finding matches because there's not enough people in the ranks directly below them to really gather together and put together a match as quickly. So these people that are kind of the vanguards of it and are playing a lot, they get into situations where they just can't play. And so we want to.
So do you understand the predicament that the guys are in? This is the predicament. You don't want to sit and, like me, I don't want to sit and put a load of time into stressing out over solo queue to get to Onyx to have a wide matchmaking pool to then have bronzes in my team. Because then the whole thing's been pointless. I may as well be playing quick play. Because you're going to lose your rank you lose a single game, you can be kicked out of Onyx. So it can be very frustrating, but I completely understand from their point of view. Listen, there are not enough players. There are not enough players, and this is why I'm trying to promote solo queue, because every single time I get beat by a 5-man stack that are 5-man crossing, all communicating, they all say in chat, hey GGZ, you know, they've either sniped me on stream or they're like, hey GGZ, you should make a video about stacks, we hate stacks. It's annoying that you have to stack, but the problem is, the developers can only do so much. If you're all stacking up, you part of the problem. I get it, the system benefits stacks, but Gears of War, and this is maybe a bit of a boomer thing, an old school thing, but the 06 players, the Gears of War 1 players, you know, there was like a gentleman's agreement that, like, yeah, you could do that, but you just won't. You could active down everybody, you could 2-piece everybody, and you really wouldn't. You'd try to not do that. That would be like a last resort. And I understand that stacking's the most efficient way, but I feel like it's really hurting the laddering experience. Just from my small stream and YouTube channel, the amount of people that have come in and said, I've really not enjoyed playing ranked, I'm just getting beaten by stacks. The part of the problem is that the stacks are complaining about stacks, but they're doing it. So you need to come out, you need to solo queue. If there's anything you take away from this video, I would say have a go at solo queue. If everybody's solo queuing, there's going to be more games, and there's going to be better sort of quality of games, because what's happening right now is the ranges are getting skewed. So even the stacks that want to play other sweaty stacks are having a big range that aren't finding other sweaty stacks. And yeah, it's difficult for them, because what do? These people have got to Onyx. What do? They've got to Masters. Do you just not let them play the game? So Gears of War's in this state where it's kind of a dead game because the ranking system doesn't work. It's 2020. Every modern person, it seems, wants to play an ELO system. They love it. And Gears of War doesn't have a working one. So people don't want to play it, which is a shame. They don't want to put the time in, learn how to play a third-person shooter, learn how to manipulate the map cover, all just to then end up playing a whole range of random ranks anyway. So they're just in a tough spot. What do? I would just say they continue on, and they try their very best to make a ranking system that works for the population and get it right for Gears 6, because it has to work for Gears 6. Or whatever it is, you know, if we're looking that long into the future, which is a long, long time away. But yeah, I understand the frustration that it's just a small player base, and part of the reason there's a small player base, because the odd couple of people that wander in to ranked get completely smashed and don't want to play again because they're not matched with even skilled people. If bronze people, brand new people played brand new people, they'd have a lot more fun because they'd be trying to kill each other. There'd be long fights because they were missing, taking cover, chainsawing, you know, like it used to be back in the day when we were all learning the game. Nowadays, it must be brutal to come into Gears of War and try and learn the game, because everyone's a veteran that's left playing it. You know, you're going to get smashed. So, yeah, I understand their position. Sorry for talking so long. This kind of has turned into a ranked video. I have watched this playlist. They basically just say most of the stuff that we already know about the flashbangs, but yeah, I'll click through some bits for you.
Address that. That's something we knew the system was going to have a little bit of trouble with at the start. There is some stuff that will be better with the next update that we do that will, you know, allow that to not be the case at the start of the next season. But for now, we're trying to find a way to allow that spread to happen earlier for a temporary amount of time, to really seed those ranks with people and allow people to find matches faster. And then it's based on what we were looking at for the data, it should become healthier naturally over time once we allow that initial spread to happen.
I mean, I think what we're seeing is basically everybody sort of starts at the same start line, and then we have people are running to the front, and as they move kind of ahead of the pack, there's less and less people for them to play with. So if you're like, and I'm going to use an extreme scenario, if you are the only person in Masters or one person in Diamond, it becomes really challenging for you to go and find a match. Or even if there's 50 people in Masters, it still becomes an issue because you're relying on
Right, which I do understand again, but I do understand. But what I think they need to do is they need to keep the ranking system tight. Otherwise, people are going to get pissed off that they've got random ranks in the game, which was the main problem of the last system, which you all spoke about. And also, yeah, like integrity of ladder. If you get to masters and your queue times go up, every single person that plays high elo games knows you have long queue times, but you'll take that because when you do eventually find a game, it's of the correct skill. Whereas Gears of War are kind of going, oh god, people can't find games, quick lower all of these settings, and then all of a sudden the ranking system becomes pointless. Yes, people are finding games, but it's pointless. So what I would advise from my idiotic self is just keep the matchmaking really tight, personally. Then at least when somebody does find a game, it's a correct level game, everybody's the same level, and it's somewhat enjoyable. It's better to have 3 games a day that where you were like, oh, everybody was the same level, this was really good, I could recommend this to my friends. Or do you want to play 6 games a day where you're like, I'm Masters, I've got a Bronze guy in my game, this isn't working, why have I grinded to Masters if I've got a, blah, blah, blah. It's, it is what it is,
All of those people sort of playing around the same time as you and so on and so forth. So one of the changes that we rolled out today is a little bit of an adjustment on, so initially we were matchmaking so you would only get paired with people that were your level or 1 or above or below. So if you were a gold, you would only get with silver, or you would only go and get with onyx. But we made a bit of a change, a temporary change, just to sort of spread that out a little bit more, correct?
Yeah, so the change is right now, it used to be 1 rank plus minus, and now it's 2 ranks plus minus, which means that players that are in gold, somebody just mentioned they're gold 1 in free-for-all. It depends on the region that they're in, time they're searching for. There's other factors in play. But right now, if you didn't have enough people on silver and gold searching as a gold player in free-for-all, you're going to have a tough time finding a match, especially in...
You see what I mean? I can sit here and I can completely understand what they're saying. There's not enough players. But what's going to happen again is I feel like Gears of War needs to be built from the ground up to work. Build it and they will come. Build a proper ranking system and people eventually will have the experiences, maybe few and far between, but they'll be good experiences. And if you have enough people have enough good experiences, they'll begin to talk. They'll say, yo, you should get back into Gears. The ranking system's actually fully works now. There's not enough players, but if you hop in, more and more people join, we'll be good to go. But what's happening now is the ranking system is 2 plus above and below. So I'm an Onyx player. I can play with their system an entire stack team of Masters players, because Onyx, Diamond, Masters, and I can have a team of Silvers. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I have had Diamonds with Silvers before, and yes, it is rare, but when it does happen, it's instant GG, it's over. The games are so sweaty that if you have one person not pulling their weight, you just insta-lose. And just saying it out loud, you finally solo queued up to Onyx, and you can play with Masters or Silvers. It just sounds daft. So again, I would just say, build a proper ranking system, keep the tight restrictions, say to people, listen, there are tight restrictions, we do have a low player base, but if you want good quality games, this is them. If you don't want to wait for the queue times and have a good even match, play quick play. That's what it's there for, right? That's what customs are there for. If you just want to get into a game as fast as you can, don't play ranked. This is what they should be saying. They should be coming out and saying this. If you want to just get in a game as fast as you can, and you just want to play with your buddies, or you just want to play some games, play customs, host customs, maybe try a quick play match, If you want a ranking system where the games are tight, the queue times are a bit longer, but when you get the game, it's close, it's sweaty, it's a proper good game, because some of the games I've played have been, keep the ranking restrictions tight. Because otherwise you're going to end up in the situation where people are just like, what's the point of me playing ranked when I can just play anybody anyway, which was the problem with the first system. So I absolutely understand where they're coming from, completely understand it, but it's so frustrating to play with worse players because it feels like your time's been wasted. And I'm only saying that because TC have changed their approach and they don't want players' times to be wasted. So I'm just giving my opinion that, that does make me feel as a user, as an end user, that my time has been wasted. I'm sure it would, I'm sure that's not their intention, but that's the way it does end up feeling.
Regions with a lower population are off hours. So this will help with that. It'll allow you to find matches with just more players. It'll just open that pool up. And like I said, once the spread starts to happen, we believe we can turn this off and once again go back down to one rank. So we're hoping that it's a temporary thing to allow people to move
So
up,
they're hoping
between,
it
find
spreads,
more,
people can move, but
frequently, and then we won't need it for the long term once the actual population fully is spread out.
Yeah. I can't read his name. I think it's Mike's fan. He says, just base it off overall ranks and party, not the...
I'm not just pointing this guy out, but like, for example, right, think about this guy. This guy is a dedicated Gears of War player. Not only does he play Gears of War, he's Onyx, and he's also so interested in Gears of War, he's tuned into the dev live stream. And he's saying, oh no, like, I'm going to have to play Masters players now, and anything to help solo players. And I'm not saying they don't address this, but this is what I'm saying. They're in a tough situation. They need to stand up and they need to be brave and they need to say, listen, if you want to wait for a proper ranking system that you've all asked for, this is it. The queue times are going to be long. Sometimes you might not find games at peak times because there's not enough players, but the ranking system 100% works and it's respected. If you don't want to do that, you can play your quick play or you can play customs, right? I feel like going down the route of widening the curve, not letting, letting stack up, letting friends play with friends, etc. I think it's a how do I word it? It's short-term gains for like long-term consequences. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I'm just giving you my experience as the user, and I do want to put my view across as I do have a little channel that, I just put my view out there.
Individuals with the highest ranks in the party. That's kind of how our old rank system was, where it was a hybrid of skills. And what we were seeing is by doing that, you would have one master could get paired with a, it's not quite this, I'm using extreme examples. If you have a master and a bronze, maybe do those two together equal a gold? And we didn't want to result to that math. So by just going to the highest level, you're partying up at that point, you're making the conscious decision. So if somebody's going into that, then that's the decision that we made.
So here's what Dana says, and this is what I'm saying. Dana says that if a Masters player brings a bronze into the game, those two people are making a conscious decision to be like, listen, we might not win the game because this guy's bronze, but I've made the conscious decision to bring him into ranked. Now that's okay for 2v2 Nashers. That's okay if you were, 2v2 Nashers. But what that's not explaining is those two people have made that decision. I haven't. So when I go into a solo queue game or a party play game with two people or whatever, and I look at my team and I've got bronzes, I didn't make that decision. I didn't want a bronze on my team. They've taken that decision into their own hands, and as a result, they've screwed me over. And that's the problem. That's what I'm saying with the ranking system. You need to build one that works, that might be slow, it might not have no players, but it needs to work, because otherwise, someone like me that's not quite as obsessed with Gears as me will go, why have I got a bronze in my game? I'm leaving, and they quit, don't they? Oh, this guy sucks, I'm quitting, I'm not playing this. So yeah, Dana's right. Those two people, the old system was a Masters and a bronze equals a gold. They didn't want to do that math, so now a Masters and a bronze equals a Masters. And they've made that decision. They might not win. It might be rare that a Masters brings a bronze into the game. I understand that's going to be a rarity. Maybe it's a Masters and an Onyx. Maybe it's a Masters and a gold. But the point is, they're making that decision, not the other people in the game. So the other people in the game have been impacted. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't think that's a good system.
To create consistency and transparency around the process. Is that correct there, Jote?
Yeah, and I think it's something we're always considering as well. Like, we wanted to have clarity, so okay, the reason that bronze is in my match is because so-and-so match made into this match, and he's the leader of the squad, or the highest point in the squad is actually what it's based on. So it's something we're still continuing to look at. I think if we thought it would give a better experience, we could look at doing something that's more of a blend. There's a few different things on the list we're investigating. I wouldn't dismiss out of hand doing something like that, but we haven't really looked really detailed at it.
I know I'm pausing a lot, but there's a lot of information here. He's saying that they might consider a blend. That would be even worse, because personally, a Masters and a Bronze being tied together to make a Gold means that Gold players are going to end up facing off against Masters players, and probably the Bronze is going to be a Smurf anyway. So that's just going to kill off the medium population and get them really angry. I think they're just very, very nervous to admit, yo, we've got no players, so we can't do a good ranking system, because obviously they don't want to say that out loud, do they? They can't say that out loud. But again, I just think that they should say, yo, this is the ranking system, it works. It works. We're going to have to rebuild the population back up, but it works. It's staying like this, rather than constantly chopping and changing it, Like, apparently, I didn't know that 2 days ago they did an update where you can play 2 ranks above or below. That wasn't put onto the homepage of the game. That's another mistake. That wasn't told anywhere. That was a behind the scenes matchmaking. Well, you've got to tell your ranked people, because if the ranked people are your hardcore people that keep the game going. And if suddenly the silver player can play against onyxes and bronzes, and he doesn't want to play that, and he doesn't want to have that affect his rank, you've got to let them know. If I signed into League of Legends and suddenly the ranking system had changed via a hotfix, so suddenly I could play Grandmasters players, you bet your bottom dollar they'd tell me. I just think, yeah, I feel for them, because it's a good system. It's just not enough players, and they're trying to cobble it together for it to work for the player base, and it's not possible.
I think, like with other things, want to get the foundation right, and then we can start making some micro adjustments at that part.
So, yeah, I probably wouldn't do GP, but I think giving XP for it or finding some other, we've lost that, and that's something I think that's been mentioned is on our backlog. I don't know exactly where, but just to call that out, that is something that's been noticed as well. Incentivization for executions really doesn't exist in our game very much outside of the Tour of Duty medals and some of the
incentivizations for executions don't really exist. Honestly, I've said this before, I'd get rid of them personally. I would. I just, it sounds like, the way I see it is development time, reward. The amount of every single character model has to be animated to do all of these hundreds of executions in the game. Such a staggering amount of time to create all of these, and you never ever use them. The only time you ever use them is you're stomping the enemy team and you want to tilt them, or it's the last kill of the round. I don't know. How do you incentivize them? XP, something? I don't know, but yeah.
Objectives, and I guess arcade in the case of some of the abilities and getting your skulls faster.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's something we could do there. I mean, that's in that same kind of bucket as the seeing the stats of you and your friends and getting more data, and just some of the little nice quality of life things that we want to bring back in that previous titles had. So yeah, I probably wouldn't do GP, but I think giving XP for it or finding some other benefit for it outside of.
Just to end, because I don't want to bore you with hundreds of bits of gameplay, you can tell what this dev stream's about. It's they are discussing up in the, I've read it and I know about it, they are discussing the boosting of the kill cap, so maybe you can get some more GP. I haven't really heard about anything to help solo players other than they've heard about it. I don't know what they're going to do about it, but yeah, they've made a mental note. Obviously enough people have complained. I've lost my train of thought there, sorry. But yeah, that's kind of how it is. There's not really too much to add. Personally, I've enjoyed the games. They've been very, very sweaty, very high level. I personally have found that I've had to play a lot better, and the games are tense, and I like that. There are a ton of things going on in this dev stream. I will link it down below, and I know this is a little bit different to my typical dev stream. It was more of a way for me to give my personal thoughts on ranked, even though I said at the beginning it wasn't. In typical GGZII fashion, he does what he wants, when he wants, how he wants. you know the drill. It is what it is, you know. I just thought I'd chat a bit about ranked because it's just it's a better system. The games are sweaty, but it's just difficult with player base. And then the player base isn't there because the ranking system isn't what it is. They need to just stand up and do something about it. I'm sure they're working on it. It's pre-season, remember? It's pre-season. That's why I'm not stressing or anything. The ranking system still hasn't even come out. But I want to be fair, and I want to play the ranking system and not just YOLO chat about it, you know? So I'm going to continue to play the ranking system. I'm going to continue to formulate some thoughts and stuff. There's obviously a ton on the mind, and I'll link in the comments down below any specifics that I may have missed here. I watched the last half of the stream live. There wasn't too much in there, and I'll keep you up to date. So yeah, it wasn't a full dev blog review. I just wanted to have a chat. I haven't chatted on my stream for a while, on my YouTube channel, sorry. So, yeah, take it easy, folks. Let me know in the comments down below, what's your opinion on the ranking system? How would you change it? How have you been finding it? Are you playing solo or duo? What's your experience been as a solo, duo, or a stack? Leave a thumbs up. Let's try to get some thumbs up. As always, check out the other content. Think about subscribing via Twitch Primes, subscribing to the YouTube channel. You can support the YouTube content directly by hitting the join button. You'll get a little name. You'll get this little badge here next to your name so I can see you're a member. And I get to respond to your comments first. And if you are a subscriber, join the Discord. You'll get synced up, so you get the subscriber perks. So thank you very much. Peace out.